think today's Kenner Star Wars story is going to be very relatable to a lot of Star Wars fans that played Star Wars as a kid. We've talked about the Air Snowtrooper, the Blue Snags, weapons in general, the Kenner X-Wing, and now we're going to be talking about Bespin Han. Now you may be thinking, what's there to say about this Bespin Han that hasn't been said before? Well, I thought about a certain experience that I had when I was younger and looked up on the internet to see if anybody had a similar experience. And it happened that people on forums had, but nobody on YouTube had. So I figured I'd share with the YouTube community the story of freezing your Bespin Han. As most people can probably tell, I've loved Star Wars since I was very, very young. And therefore, I played a lot of Star Wars as a kid. I was also lucky enough to be able to have the vintage Star Wars figures to play with as a kid. Now, granted, the figures that I had were already played with themselves, so they weren't anything that I was ruining. And of course, my two favorite Star Wars movies, they're tied. The Empire Strikes Back and the original Star Wars were what I wanted to play the most. So, when playing the Cloud City scene, I obviously had to freeze Han. And I didn't have a Han in Carbonite figure. So I went with the next best thing. I actually froze him in ice. Now you're probably thinking, why would you freeze a vintage figure, especially one of the main characters? Well, the thing is that I was a kid, and I just wanted to play Star Wars. And I'm guessing the figure was already beaten up anyways. I mean, I didn't use one of my actual original Hans, so... And of course, you gotta freeze the Bespin Han, because that's where Han gets frozen. And that's technically the attire that he's wearing. Even though it's more of just a white shirt that's underneath. And besides, it's way better to freeze an Empire Strikes Back figure rather than a 12-back figure. So as you can see, my Han figure got a little bit more permanent damage than Han in the movie from being frozen. And he was only frozen in ice. I do still have a Bespin blaster to go with him. However, it is unfortunate that he got a Bespin blaster in general, because he should have the iconic Smuggler's Blaster. But I suppose Hoth Han can holster the Bespin blaster as well. Yeah, my Hoth Han is really taking a beating. But as I was saying earlier, the damage is pretty extensive. You got chipped away paint on the hair and the hands, just kind of faded paint everywhere, and the joints are really loose. I don't want to repeat the demonstration because I don't want to screw up my Han any more than it already is, but it looked something like this. Put him in the glass like so, filled the glass with water, and then put him in the freezer. Left him there for probably about a day or two. Came back, and I had a Han frozen in carbonite. At least it was good to play that way.